Hi everyone, my name is Andrew Cummins. I want to thank you all for joining us today. We're going to do a quick session basically highlighting some of the new features that we've added into the beta site for Amicus Online and also a couple things that are just coming around the corner. So just a couple of quick housekeeping items. If you do have questions, please use the GoToWebinar question section so you can certainly pose them. And if we have time at the end, I'm happy to answer them. If not, we can certainly take them offline. But won't take too long here. We just want to jump in and highlight a couple of exciting things here on the software engineering side, and that is that we haven't had an update for Amicus Online for a little while, but there's a good reason for that, and that is because we've really been doing an awful lot behind the scenes. So let's just quickly go through what we're going to cover today, and I want to make sure all of you have a chance to log into the beta site, so we'll talk about that, how you can provide feedback. We're then going to jump in and show you what you'll see today if you do log into the beta site and what you should look around for, and then also a preview of some pretty cool things that are coming just around the corner. And then, of course, as I said, if you do have questions, please post them in the question section on the right-hand side, and we can certainly address those. So let's jump right in. So everyone who has an Amicus Online account right now can actually access the beta site at any time. It uses your very same credentials, and it's simply a matter of going to cloudbeta.amicusattorney.com as opposed to just cloud.amicusattorney.com. So you just log in with those exact same credentials you use every day to access your Amicus Online, and you'll be able to log in to the new site. With respect to feedback, one, you can certainly send feedback directly to myself. I'm the product manager here for Amicus Online, and you can reach me anytime. My email address is acummins, and that's ACUMMINS @abacusnext.com, and certainly would love to hear feedback about the new features that we've added, and as well if you've got other comments about the product in general. But with that, we're going to jump out of PowerPoint because we want to spend most of our time talking about the new features that are in Amicus Online itself. So we'll just jump over here to our browser and take a look at a couple of quick things here. So what you'll notice is as soon as you log into Amicus Online, we have done a huge revamp of the entire user experience. So while it's still going to be familiar to you as an existing Amicus Online user, you'll find that the product has been certainly updated, much more modern look and feel, improved colors and graphics, and at the same time, we've also been able to refactor much of the product too. So you'll actually find not only does the product look nicer, you'll also find that it performs even better. So that's a big thing that we wanted to, it sort of took obviously a long time behind the scenes, but doing the update itself to the application. So I want to touch on a couple of quick things. One, obviously, when you do go to the login page, it's going to look a bit different than what you're accustomed to. So you're not being redirected to some phony site. You'll see the login page should look like this, as opposed to what you're accustomed to right now. So I don't know if you noticed the difference, but we certainly really updated the look and feel to the product itself. So you'll see just an updated login screen. So I want to make sure that that doesn't confuse anyone. Once you've logged into the beta site itself too, you'll notice on the home screen, there's a tile down in the bottom left-hand corner that actually says the beta site updated. And what you can do is actually click that, and it will bring you to a page which highlights a bunch of the features that we're going to be able to demonstrate here today as well. So I encourage all of you to take a look at that once you have a chance to log in. Okay, so let's step back for a second and look at what we're seeing here on the home page. So one, you'll notice that the tiles themselves have been updated. We've also got a crisp new navigation bar along the top. Some icons have changed as well as the top. But as far as actually using the product, it's still going to be very familiar to you. But let's highlight a couple things right on the home page to start off with. And you'll see that the tiles themselves have been updated, as well as the preview. So if you were to mouse over, you'll see details about the email messages that are, well, in this case, unread messages. You've also got a nice big count, so you can see just how many of your email messages are unread in your mailbox. Same thing with any callbacks you need to do. And we've just also tightened up the descriptions. So, of course, Amicus Online is known for being sort of proactive assistance where you might need it. And the idea here is you come in to start your day, and you can see very succinctly what needs to happen. So you've got one deadline. You'll also notice we've added a new mini calendar right to your home view, and you'll also notice some of the days look to be highlighted. And that's actually an indication that you have appointments, one or more appointments, on any one of those highlighted days. So of course, as a busy attorney, many of your days will be bold, but the idea is you can see at a glance the current and next month what kind of availability you might have for days where you have no appointments at all. So really nice sort of improvement for getting around. And you can also just simply click onto any one of those days to jump directly to that day in the calendar itself. But if we go back to home for a moment, there's a couple other things that I wanted to highlight. So in the top right-hand corner, you'll notice that the timer has changed the icon. You've also noticed that it no longer says options, it's simply a gear, same functionality, and then a nice little help icon and an option here to log out as well. So that functionality remains the same, but just has a bit different look and feel. What you will also notice, though, is the main navigation at the very top has some little badges in it. And that's because we've made the reminders section much more powerful within this latest version of Amicus Online. And that is, wherever you happen to be within Amicus Online, you can see right at the very top how many unread messages you have, if you have any tasks that have deadlines for today, if you have any outstanding callbacks for today, and also, of course, if you have any home screen, client portal changes would also be notified here as you're accustomed to right now. Another minor change that we've actually added is if you happen to be doing a conflict check, so if you go into Tools and you run a conflict check, that those results would actually appear on the tools as another badge. And you'll also see we've actually added just a little, well, you can see that it's actually doing progress. So you got a little flag indicating that it's working on your conflict check right now. So really subtle changes, but I think you'll find that it is a really improved interface. And just as we happen to be in the Tools module, here's another indication of just the improved look and feel of the product itself. Modern icons, really nice, easy to appreciate colors, and improved navigation within the product itself as well. So you'll also find that if let's jump into email module, and again, the functionality that you're accustomed to today, we'll just choose to refresh that. Okay, that's interesting. We now have new toggles to go between your favorites and all folders, so new controls there, and just a sort of modern look and feel to the icons you'll actually see in the list. And well, my environment doesn't seem to be cooperating right now. I'm not actually seeing my my email messages, but that's okay. We can plug through this quickly here as well. So some other things I want to touch on are within the Files module. Obviously, an updated look and feel here too. And you can also tell that the icon has changed to denote a file that has been shared in the client portal. So that's what that blue circle behind actually indicates that. And if we were to open up the file itself, you'll notice, again, this is still very familiar to you, but a nice refined interface that is just much more pleasing to the eye as you navigate through the application as well. And just the icons have a much nicer sort of look and feel as well. Okay, another feature that we've added within this latest version is we now have a new print options for the calendar itself. So if we go jump back to today, you'll notice that for both the day, week, and month views of the calendar, if you click on the little drop-down menu, you now not only have the option to print agenda, but you also have the option to print a day view. And this is true for any, so if we happen to be in week view, of course, that would instead toggle to, instead of being day view, it would toggle to the week view here, and the same thing with the month view as well. So great options, and this is something that our users have long looked for, and that is some new options for that. And because we're actually able to print that out as any of your views, you can go and save that as a PDF, save to Excel, or to Word. So really a great tool that has improved the functionality. Why? Okay, so that's a great improvement certainly within the calendar itself. If we now jump into contacts, I want to just demonstrate the new look and feel within the contacts module itself. So first you'll notice, now all my contacts appear to have disappeared here. We're having a bit of trouble with the beta site. Again, this is something that we do unfortunately encounter as we continue to update the beta site itself. But we've got your contacts. So we've got new navigation options to move between the various contacts. And if you were to open a contact up, again, we've got the little icon denoting that this has been shared in the client portal. If we open that one up, you'll see the new sort of updated look and feel. And then we've also added in the option to be able to record a middle name. For all of your contacts now can have a middle name. And of course, that middle name can be incorporated into the show as that actually appears in, so that's the way to actually note how your names appear in the contact module itself. So we can include a middle name. So we can put in a full name or just well, initials, for instance. And that is now included here. And again, I can choose to have that listed on the contact itself. So really easy for us to be able to go and record more details about your contacts. So we appear to be not having a good connection to Exchange at this time. So that's probably why we're having some issues with not seeing my emails and my appointment or contacts. But that's okay. We can still move along here. The next section I want to talk about is a new feature that we've added into the user profile, and that is for firms that actually do e-billing. We've added a new classification option called paralegal, and that is just the ability to go and record the role of the person on the file that is that you're actually sending your e-bills out for. So really awesome to be able to go and record more details there. So as you've seen, as I move through the application, the options here we're in looks much improved too, with a really improved general interface in terms of, well, much nicer to look at. But again, it's still going to be familiar to you as you navigate through the application itself. Okay, so another option I wanted to quickly show is the ability to go and modify payment methods. So the idea, if you're already using Amicus Payment Exchange, or as we call it, APX, to manage your credit card and ACH payment processing, we've gone and added further improvements there. So that, for instance, if I've got John Smith here, if I open up John Smith and click on to manage credit cards, so I'm able to store both credit card for ACH purposes, or excuse me, bank account information for ACH sort of e-check payments, and also credit card payment processing. I can store those credit cards on file for reuse in the future. And we've now added improved options. So if I wanted to choose to open up one of those existing payment methods, if the expiry date had changed, I can go and quickly do that. Where it's also been helpful is for users to be able to go and change the email address that the receipt gets sent to. So the idea is on a payment method within Amicus Online, you can actually choose to have an automatic receipt sent to the client whenever a payment is processed. And the idea here is we can go and choose to change that email address should we so desire. So that was a request from our users to be able to make some changes. Of course, we can't change the card number itself, and we don't display that entire number, but we do have the ability to modify many of the other important details there. Okay, so that was a nice quick overview of what we've added in. So that, if you log into the beta site today, which I just said was cloudbeta.amicusattorney.com, you would be able to see and play around with, and again, use your actual data. And there's no harm whatsoever to your existing live account. It's the same credentials you'd use to log in. What you will find is the first person in your firm who logs into the beta site, they will see a notice that their database is being updated, such that once it has been updated, then anyone in the firm would be able to log in and do so. It's all done automatically, so there's no changes that are required on your part to go ahead and do that. Okay, so now I wanted to, we've just done a quick overview there, but there's also another great feature that we are about to release too, and that is a new add-in for Outlook. So the idea is we are now going to be able to give you more controls to manage your email messages right inside of Outlook itself. And the beauty of the add-in that we've developed is that it works in any versions of Outlook that you're running, whether it's Outlook on your desktop, a PC like Windows or on a Mac, or if you're logging in a browser with Office 365 or Office Web Access, or even if you're using Office 365 and you have the Outlook for iOS or Android app, then you can actually use the add-in that we've created to manage your email messages and track your time. So let's quickly jump into, actually I'll show you where you can install it once it's actually released. You'll be able to install that right from, if you go into the options within Amicus Online, you'll see right under My Preferences, there's something called Outlook Add-in with a new flag. Clicking that talks about what you can do, and once this is live, this link would actually take you to the Office store. So our friends at Microsoft are presently reviewing it for publication very shortly, and we'll certainly keep you posted on that. But I wanted to take this opportunity to do a bit of a preview of what we're talking about here. So let's just close out of that, but very easy to go and install. It just follow one prompt and you're in. So let's jump into, I happen to have Outlook on my browser here for Office 365, but this could be if you have your own Exchange and you log in through Office or Outlook Web Access, or in Outlook on your desktop or Mac. The beauty here is we've got these controls that have been added right into to Outlook. So if we click onto any given email message, so we've got one here from Steve Devlin, that we can actually choose to connect directly to Amicus Online. So we've just clicked on Steve Devlin's message, and you'll notice in the top right-hand corner, there's now a new icon that appears that it actually, if you mouse over, it says Amicus Online for Outlook, Amicus Online add-in. And if we were to just simply click that, what you'll notice is it brings us over to a new pane, and because we've actually already logged in another version of Outlook, it actually knows that we're logged into Amicus Online and allows us to, in this case, go and associate this email message to a client file, and it's also started a timer for us. So the beauty here is that I didn't need to log into Amicus Online, but I can still make my file associations as I'm working in Outlook. So I can simply just click into the file box here, and I happen to, I know that it's Cooperman that I wanted to associate that to, and I just type in the first couple characters, and it brings down a list of the associated or relevant files, and I can just choose the right one I want there. You'll also notice that it started a timer as we started here. So the timer is running, and then I can also choose now to do a time entry. So if I click Do Time Entry, it's going to bring up now a fully formatted timesheet, and it's got my duration filled out. It's on the Cooperman Matter, and it's not showing the description, but it would normally show email correspondence with Steve Devlin in this case. And with just that, I can put in whatever other description I want, and I can also then click Save. If I wanted to go and change any of the other defaults, so right now it's using my appropriate file billing rate and status and such. If I wanted to make some changes to that, I can simply click onto the Advanced button here, and it'll now take me to a more detailed view of the time entry where I can change the billing status, the billing rate, make it no charge. If I'm using e-billing, I can make sure that my activity and task codes are also filled in if they are required, and can be prompted accordingly for that. But I won't actually save the advanced, and I'll just, again, put in whatever options or details I want here, and I'll just click now Save to that. And what you'll notice is the time entry itself as saying it's error and not save the time entry, which is unfortunate. Maybe we'll try that on just a different time entry. We're having some technical difficulties here, folks. We've clicked on Janet Bailey here. And in this case, we can also choose to click the little pin. And what that allows it to do is keep this panel open whenever we open up any other email messages in Amicus, or in Outlook, excuse me, so that it has the Amicus Online controls. So again, I've got, it's on the Bailey Kipling file already. I can choose to have that timer run and click Do Time Entry. And there we go, it's filled in the email description. I can simply click Save to that. And now the time entry itself has been saved, so you'll notice it toggles now to View Time Entry, and it's been put on that file. So the beauty here is that we can now go back into Amicus Online, and we can go and see that that email message is there. Well, we should be able to, but again, we had some minor issues with the email, so let's go to Bailey Kipling and see if we see the email message on there. So there's, I believe, the email we just clicked on. So we've got the email message itself, and the time entry has been done. So the idea is there's no waiting to sort of poll every 20 minutes or anything. It's you make the changes within Outlook, and those are immediately visible within Amicus Online. So we think this is really an incredible tool to take productivity right into Outlook. So if you need to be able to make your file associations and do time entries from Outlook, you can quickly do so very, very easily. Now, another one I wanted to quickly show is the ability to do the same thing from your phone. So I'm just actually going to go into my Outlook, Outlook for iOS, this happens to be, and you'll notice I can go and let's scroll down to something else we haven't touched. So we've got one from Cloud Support. We can open up that email message, and you'll notice that there's three little icons right in near the top in Outlook for iOS. If you simply click onto that or tap onto that, you'll notice you have an Amicus Online option, and if you just select that, this is where it allows us to go and make that file association. So I can again just tap into the file field, select my file name itself, and it will bring up all the options that match. I select Cooper Mini Cooperman, and now I can choose to do a time entry as well. So in this case, you'll notice it hasn't gone and started a timer for me because this is now in a separate pane completely, but it does allow me to, again, have a fully formatted timesheet. It's got the date, the duration, the file, and would typically say email correspondence with Jim Cooperman, and I can simply click Save to that, and it would then appear directly in Amicus Online associated to the appropriate file with the time entry completed. So really a beautiful tool to be able to do a lot more within Outlook. So again, this is something we've submitted to Microsoft. They are reviewing it right now, and we hope to be able to make it available to all of our users very, very soon. So please stand by further for that. Okay, so that's something that is very, very close to release. And then I also wanted to give you guys a sneak peek on something else that is coming around the corner. And that is, again, an extension of the Amicus Payment Exchange. So again, we make it really easy to go and collect. So as you're working really hard and tracking all of your time in Amicus, you can send your invoice out to your client, and now you can make it very easy or even easier for them to go and pay their invoice. So I'm just going to jump into a different environment here. I've got a development environment, and I want to show you what you'll notice, a new button. In fact, I've logged into a different version of Amicus. I'm in the billing module, and I've selected an invoice, and you'll notice I have an option for request payment. So what this allows us to do in Amicus Online is actually send an email to your client with an embedded link so that the client can receive the email, simply click onto that, and they can put in their credit card information and complete or pay their outstanding invoice. So really an incredible tool that makes collections that much easier for yourself. So let's do a quick example here. I'm going to select this option here where they were owed $6, so a huge amount. We'll click on to request payment, and it will just take a second. What it's actually doing is now creating an email message addressed to the primary client on this file, which happens to be called tax review. And again, this is using the document assembly capabilities of Amicus Online such that you can go and customize that template to have the email message look however you wish when your clients actually receive it. But what you'll see here is that it's got the email message addressed to the primary client. The subject is filled out, and it's also got the body, and it shows that it was for $6. And here's the link that they would actually click on to pay that. What you'll also notice in the background is a little icon appears in the paid column of that. So the item we selected here, this invoice for $6, that little icon appears there. And that's a way for you to be able to tell that a payment request has been sent to the client. And so what we're demonstrating here today is doing one at a time, but you can also use the multi-select in the top right and select all of your bills if you wanted to and choose to send a request that way as well. So some great tools there. But let's just go ahead and click the send option here. And then we'll go back into Outlook and pretend that we're actually the client receiving that request. What you'll also see is that the icon is now toggled to view request rather than send. It's now showing as view request. And of course that toggles depending on the status, but again, we know that that one is, has the icon, so a request has been sent. But if we now go back into Outlook, we've now received an email, and this environment happened to be set up as JD, but you'll notice it's got the email message as we sent it, and again, this is customizable to the firm. It's got the invoice that is attached, and just as though it would appear in Amicus Online, it's got all the details. Could be the detailed invoice, simple one, it would have your logo and such. And now the clients themselves can actually simply just click onto this link. So in this case, we're pretending now we are the client. We've just received this email message from our lawyer, and we want to go and make sure that we pay that invoice right now. So if we click the invoice, a link, it will take us now to the APX Pay Now page. And of course, this is formatted to fit perfectly on any mobile device as well. And then it lets me fill in some details here. So I'm just going to put in really quickly a credit card number that will work for our purposes, but no one else's. But really what this is all about is making it easier for you to go and collect payment from your clients. So we're going to put in some details here. Of course, if we had this information already on the primary client, then that would be filled in for us. And also at the bottom, the client can choose to be notified via email of the as a receipt as well. So they can punch in whatever their email address, and we'll simply click the Pay Now option. And this is the experience, again, that the client would have. So once the transaction's been processed, they would see a congratulations screen or thank you for making the payment. And we're just going to wait for that to process. It's just taking its time for us today. Again, this is something that is further around the corner, but I just wanted to give you guys a preview of what is in store for some new features. Oh, there you go. So there it shows that the payment was a success, and also allows the client themselves to see the receipt right here. But again, because we punched in their email message, their email address, it is of course then automatically emailed, as you just saw. It popped up in my Outlook as well. So this is a really cool tool to be able to go and handle those. So if we now go back into Amicus Online, and this time we now choose to view payments, we now see there is a new Pay Now, it says Pay Now payment. It was just now, the 24th, and I've received now the payment itself. So if I open it up, it shows that which client file it's on the tax review, and the money that has actually been put on. I can also go and choose to void this. So now I'm back in, obviously, as the lawyer, and if I need to, I can void or refund that transaction such that we prevent payment if we so desire. So we'll just click for your benefit here today. We'll choose to void this transaction, and the payment has now been voided, and you can see that it shows it's voided here, and then it appears now as a voided transaction right here, just as the one I had done earlier in a previous test. But the idea here is, wow, is this ever a great tool for you to be able to go and quickly send email messages to your clients with a link embedded in that email to go and make a payment to you. So some pretty cool things that our development team and product team have been working on, and Susan, my colleague Mo, has been instrumental in getting this going. Okay, so that sort of brings us to the end of the demonstration. I just wanted to, before we jump into question and answer, just sort of wanted to wrap this up a little bit. One, I encourage all of you to log into the cloud beta at amicusattorney.com. We'll just jump back to that slide for 1 second, and use your existing credentials, log in and check it out. And then please feel free to contact me directly at acummins@abacusnext.com. And actually, there was one other thing I wanted to demonstrate within the application itself, and that is on the home screen, you'll notice that there is an option for Suggest New Feature. And that is something that many of you have already had a chance to take advantage of because we've been posting some regular updates. But that's where you can go in and submit a suggestion for a feature you would like to see added to Amicus Online. And it's where your fellow users can also choose to vote on those suggestions. And of course, that makes it much easier for us on the product team to sort of prioritize the new features as they come in. If they're ones that many of our users are looking for, obviously it helps us to move that up the list. So I would encourage you guys to take a look at that. And if we just click on it very quickly, it takes you to the feature upvote section. And well, you'll notice that the two most frequently requested options were the add-in that we have just demonstrated and also the calendar print. And I'm happy to report that a couple of these other ones are also coming very soon too. But please do make your voice heard and log in and put in your feature suggestions. So we'd love to hear them. Now with that, certainly open to any questions. It looks like we have a couple of questions that have come in. So please feel free to use the question section at the end. We're sort of really close to the end time that we had set for this presentation, but I did want to certainly give the opportunity for us to answer any kind of questions that you may have. So just bear with me for a second as I try to look through. Okay, so it looks like a couple of these are actually suggestions for new features, and they sound great. So for sort of color coding options, and again, some of these are already in the feature upvote, so I'd encourage you to take a look at that page and certainly make sure that your voice is heard as well. And in terms of other improvements too, yeah, the one thing that's great about the product itself is that within this redesigned one, not only have we updated the look of the application, but we've also taken the opportunity to refactor. So we've been able to work on performance and stability of the application. And as you've seen as we navigated through the product itself, is that we really were forced to touch each and every one of the screens that you're accustomed to in Amicus Online. And yes, we've been able to go and improve performance in many of those areas too. So you should certainly see improvements there. And we can certainly take some of these other product suggestion comments offline. I'd be happy to reach out and we can talk about it later. But if there weren't any further questions about what we've demonstrated here today, or I guess people are looking for, well, when is this coming? Well, again, you can log into the beta site at any time. Please use your credentials to do so, and we will certainly keep you posted with a live update. When you do log in, you'll see the latest and greatest version, and of course, the login screen itself would be a good indication that it has moved over. But I would encourage all of you to log in, take a look, and let us know if you do have any comments about the product. And with that, I think we'll sign off. So again, thank you for taking some time out of your day today to watch my presentation, and look forward to your feedback. So thank you very much, everyone. Bye-bye.